about it. We're almost
And
live. Hey, we're
presto, we
live
are
now.
live.
Presto, we're live. This is
Rick and
Rick and
Jeff
Jeff,
live.
Unfiltered. And here we go, starting the day off with our
Pledge
normal
allegiance.
procedure. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I can't hear you, so I'm just going to say it. I
I pledge allegiance
to the
to
flag,
the flag,
of
United States of America,
to the Republic,
which it
one
stands, one nation,
God,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen.
Praise God and play ball. Now I can hear what you're saying. Hear what I'm saying. I was going to say, you want to hit Bananarama again?
Damn night to go. There we go. Then we'll switch right over to this one. So we can say hello to everybody out there.
Hello, everybody
We're
out
a little
there.
late
This
again
is
tonight.
Rick and Jeff, Unfiltered.
Yeah, we were like 10 minutes late getting on, but
right.
we're not known for our promptness anyways, you know.
Yeah, we didn't really have any technical difficulties. I was talking to our Aunt Sharon. So we're
Hello,
we're
Aunt
live
Sharon, if
and
you're out there. I love you, sister.
yes, Aunt Sharon, we love you. Thank you for calling. It was a great conversation. It was awesome. Yeah. Should I throw in a little Bananarama too, or what?
Yeah, after the end of this, throw Bananarama in there. We'll talk over that a little bit. Hello there, ladies and gents. Are you ready to rock? All right, Jeff, go with Bananarama now.
It's thinking.
It's thinking. Oh, we're such a high-tech
oh, I got the volume all the way down. That'll
yeah, you got to turn the volume up there.
There we go. We just like a little group music and have a little fun. This is how we start
get
our
us going,
day.
man.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, there we go. So what do we want to start with? We want to start with the Chinese.
Well, you had a couple
arrested,
topics going. Yeah, let's talk about that. How'd that go?
All right, let's go there. So Garland says they arrested 16.
That's the Attorney General of the United States, right?
Yeah. So as far as we know,
or is he the DOJ? He's the head of the DOJ. I don't remember what he is.
Well, the DOJ was there with him. Anyways, they said that the FBI arrested, I think it's 16, but it might be 13 Chinese spies. They were trying to get information on how the prosecution was going to go against them in a court case filed where they were stealing. What's the word I'm looking for, Jeff? There, you know what it is.
Intellectual property.
Intellectual property. So there we go.
So what's funny is I was typing in Garland just now, and the first thing that showed up was NBC News. Garland announces charges against 13 Chinese spies.
So it is 13 then.
Yeah.
China. So, you know, I mentioned this to my brother the other day. Jeff, what was your immediate response?
My immediate response was like, I'll believe that when somebody goes to jail.
And so here,
there you go.
And him and I got a little tiff going back and forth on that. But then after I got to think about it, I go, I bet you there's a lot of people out there in our country who do not trust the FBI for multiple reasons.
Garland is the Attorney General, like I thought.
So
no, absolutely.
They don't trust their FBI, the Attorney General, because they all were in on this stuff. They had the Steele dossier, and they found out it was fake, but kept prosecuting anyways. Okay,
Russian collusion.
Then they had the Hunter Biden laptop, which was pure
Russian disinformation. Apparently, we really like Russia until they started invading Ukraine. So,
yeah, evidently, so my point is this: it's no wonder we don't trust the FBI and the DOJ and all these idiots, because they've been proven to do this stuff,
right?
You know, quite regularly lately.
Yeah.
So
you know, let's see what we can get down there. You know, because we have a right to find out the presidential documentations that he has a presidential protection for. But anyway, sorry, I distracted you. My bad.
No, that's okay. Yeah. This is why though. Our people don't trust them. And there are still some people who do, and I know a lot of people on the liberal side that still say, "Oh yeah, they're right, they're right, they're right." And
Right.
I've had this
Well,
conversation with a relative of mine, and I said, "Look, you think it's all good now that they're trying to
we're
impeach
not
Trump,
mentioning the
and
relative's
they're
name,
trying
okay?
to and they're hiding stuff on Hunter Biden so that Joe Biden can beat Trump. But what
Right.
happens 2 years from now if and when Trump becomes president again, and he finds a way to use DOJ, FBI against the Democratic
Well,
uh,
we'd be really
runner.
pissed if he did that. That'd be unfair.
Well, I'd be pissed. You're right. I would be pissed. Okay,
And I
but
would
I'm
be
pissed at
too.
this.
Just to be clear,
But
I would not
I'm pissed at
think
this. My
that would be
point is,
acceptable behavior.
these people who say it's okay because of, you
Right.
have to realize that this could work against you someday. But they're very short-sighted on this, and
Right.
I've noticed that's one thing about the Democrats I've noticed lately in the past 10 years or so, or maybe less than that, but around that they're very short-sighted. Like when they made it so you didn't have to get 60% of the vote to put judges in
Oh, yeah, the
place.
Democrats did that, which is great for when
And
Trump became president.
and so when Trump became president, they just used it and put all those
Yeah.
judges in that the Democrats didn't like. It's
Well,
their
the
own
funny thing
freaking
is
fault.
the funny thing is that Obama left him over 300 justice seats
And
open
then there's that.
because he expected that Hillary Clinton was gonna
He
win.
thought
She
there's
could
no
finish.
way in hell Trump was gonna beat her. Yep,
Yeah, and a lot of people
absolutely.
thought that, which is kinda crazy, but it's like, that's what happened that's what happens when you're in power and you think, well, it's just it should be a given that we're gonna maintain our power. It's almost like what's going on right now, except for recently, in recent days, they're suddenly starting to blame the Republicans, and if the Republicans take power, there's gonna be a recession. So the reality is that there's
And
already gonna be a recession, but they're
yeah,
just gonna get their asses kicked in 12 days or 13 days, and then they're gonna blame it on the Republicans. So,
right. Yeah.
yeah, it's just it's politics to its utmost, and Rick and I have talked about this in the past, and we've argued about it. And I initially I was of the conclusion that there's definitely a difference between Republicans and Democrats. Yeah, I'm not really there anymore. So, there's not a
And,
whole. I mean, you have some on each side that are really truly Democrats and that are really truly Republicans, and they're more about America than they are about following the party line. But there's very few and far between.
yeah, and I gotta say this goes in waves. I think like right now the Democrats are stupidly going off the edge. And before that,
So,
the Republicans did it, and Jeff doesn't agree with me on this, I'm sure. When the Tea Party came in, they're so far right that they didn't have anything to do with me basically. As a I'm middle right. Um, Now I'm actually where the middle is now. I'm probably far right because they've moved the middle so far left that I'm fuck.
right.
I'm sorry, dropped an F bomb there. My bad.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, look at
I almost did. Didn't quite say it, but we knew where it was
yeah,
going.
you're
But
like talking
anyways,
about hockey pucks. Is what you're talking about.
yeah. So a lot of people don't trust our DOJ and FBI, and there's only one way to fix it: get rid of these idiots and start new.
Yeah, and Rick
The
and I were
that's
talking
the
about
only
that
way they're gonna
earlier.
fix it.
Rick's initial answer was we should get rid of the supervisors, and I'm like, well, how are you going to know who are you going to hire? Because if you're going to hire people from within the FBI to replace the supervisors, how do you know that they're not going to be just as bad as the supervisors that you just fired?
Well,
You
I think
know,
they would have, and I thought about this after we talked, and until now, I think they would have to hire from outside the agency to come in
right?
and do it. Like,
Yeah, it's
what's that guy? That guy, Brandon.
Bill Barr.
No,
Bill
Bill.
Barr.
He used to be chief of New York City Police. Uh, Jeez,
Oh,
I
what
can't
is
think of
his
his name.
name? Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, you know
he's
what?
just in the news the other day because he told Mayor Adams, you want me to come in and help you with this? I could do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
But yeah.
we got two
Yeah,
comments online, but I haven't seen the
well,
comments come
I
up
just
on.
commented, but it didn't come up on here. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't know
Let me
either.
go. Let me go here and see what that does. Booyah.
Yeah,
No.
so my daughter commented there's a lot that needs to change with the DOJ and the CJS.
Well, hello, niece. How are you?
Sweetie? How you doing, sweetie? You feeling better today?
Yeah, I don't see her comment on my tablet either. So
yeah, she's on mine. But it's not showing up on our feed. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
that's weird. I don't know. Let's
click
try
on,
this.
show the comments. Live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on screen. Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I'd comment. So we could actually, so apparently we can actually add someone's comment to our screen, but I don't see any comments in here. What the heck's going on with this?
There, I just posted that from our thing. You guys suck. From right on this one. But when I did it on my tablet where I usually do, it didn't come up. So yeah, it seems like we're always having technical difficulties here.
Yeah, we're just learning new stuff, you know.
Hey, let me try it this way. Let me go back. That one didn't come up either. Let me try this.
I don't know. Anyway, so I can see it on my phone, so we can respond from there. Jessica's like, she just got off work, so she must be feeling better. She worked my daughter works at Disney World. My wife works at Disneyland. My daughter's currently working at Disney World. It's great. We're a Disney family. Well, yeah, anyway.
Yes, you are.
I won't go any farther than that.
Oh, there we go. I did this way and I see Jessica's comments. Just got off work now, over on my tablet now.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not showing up on StreamYard. That's kind of weird. Edit.
All right, let's do that. See if that comes up. Nope, didn't come up. So I don't know what's going on. Oh, well, that's different. Well, we're not going to be able to see anybody unless I see them over here. You see them on your Facebook page. We're just going to keep checking, I guess.
Yeah, let's keep checking. Because I mean, both the all the things are saying we're live. So, but it doesn't show the comments. We were getting the comments before. All right, we're not going to worry about it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out
on our phones. Yeah. Thanks for joining, Jessica. Hope you're entertained once we figure out how to be IT friendly or something like that.
Probably entertaining. Just watch us go, huh? What is this? You know,
what's going on? How come it's not working? Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what
we're talking about. We're talking about
the FBI and the DOJ and all those people need to go and start over. And like I said, anybody who's far left who thinks they're doing okay because they're doing these things and getting what you want, someday it may work the other way and you're not going to be so happy. So we need a DOJ and FBI, CIA, all those people need to be non-political. They cannot worry about what their actions are politically. They have to do their job, do it the way they see fit.
Exactly.
F everybody.
Right.
Because I mean, the way they see
we have this thing called the Constitution of the United States of America, and that's what they're supposed to be upholding. And it's regardless of what your party affiliation is going to be, you know. So I mean, if we could actually do that, we'd see some changes, you know. So, but I don't know that they're going to do it. I mean, it literally is going to take some leadership administration changes, not just in the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA, but also in their government in order to make it change. Because Joe Biden's not going to change. I can tell you that right now.
Oh no, he loves it. He loves it.
He loves it.
It's all because it's working for him. But like I said, what if he runs again in 2022 and Trump or DeSantis, whoever it is, runs against him and figures out a way to use the FBI and DOJ to make up stories about him? Okay.
Yeah.
Then how's he going to feel about it?
Right. And and I guess the fortunate or unfortunate part, however you're looking at it, is the reality that so far the only ones that are doing it are Democrats, which is like, this is just ridiculous. You know, somebody's got to figure this out. But you know, because you know, I don't know if you remember Lois Lerner. Do you remember who Lois Lerner is?
I don't remember.
Lois Lerner was she was the was she the
Jessica says they're all too old to be running for president again. I got to agree with you there, Jessica. And you know what, Jessica? Me and your dad had a little back and forth the other day because he says they don't even talk about Joe Biden's age. And I said, well, if they're going to talk about his age, they got to talk about Trump's age too. Well, then Jeff said, what'd you say, Jeff? Trump is in way better shape than Biden or something like that. And
Yeah,
I
he's
said,
also about 2 or 3 years younger than Biden too. So
I think he's 1 year younger. I think he's 1 year younger. Because
right
I
now he's
remember.
2.
Well, okay, well, 2 then.
So
He's going
it's
to
like
be
right
1
now
on
I'm
his
3
birthday.
years younger than you. So
Yeah, but in 4 days you're going to be 2 years younger.
2
Exactly.
on 2 days I'll be 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know
younger
when
than
your
you.
birthday is anyway. So
Yeah, it doesn't
Facebook
matter.
will tell me, and I'll tell
Nobody
you happy
cares.
birthday.
Yeah, Facebook will tell you. Unless you get banned today, then we won't know whose birthday it'll be on
Oh.
Friday. So yeah.
So I
So
saw
yeah,
that Denise Murray Paradise was on here. Yep, she says she's still on here. Hello, Denise. She went to Windsor. I think she graduated either a year in front of me or with Kim. I'm not sure. I don't remember for sure. But she went to Windsor. I'm friends with her on Facebook. And Denise, if you got anything to say, go ahead and say it. Tell us we're stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. We don't care.
Yeah, we are stupid. We admit it.
Well, we can get stupid. That's for sure.
We have fun and we talk a lot about the current events. So we talked about Biden. Dulcie Bennett is watching. There you go.
Dulcie
Jessica
Bennett
said
is on
Biden.
now too. Yes,
There you go.
and
So-
Jessica said, "Hey, Dulcie."
Yeah.
She skipped right
So-
right past us again. So there you go.
I wish I could put these posts up. It says George Bennett's watching too, but I wish I could
Oh,
put
I didn't
these
see
posts
that one. Hey, George, how you doing?
Because my daughter, who's 21 years old, said there's a lot that needs to change with the DOJ and the CGS.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's just anyway, I think maybe we beat that dead horse. We can move on. So what was
All
the
right,
next
let's
thing
move
we were
on to-
talking about?
let's move on to. Let's see. I got a picture here.
Next
Of,
subject to change.
let's see if I can get this photo up. Let's
See, we
does
should
that-
be able to post photos up on there. Go there you go.
There we
There's
go.
little gas prices there. I like that.
Diesel is $1.80 more than regular unleaded.
Hey, I'm
and
just
I
gonna
gotta-
let you know that your regular unleaded is $1 less than it is in California at Costco.
And so is our
That's the
diesel,
cheapest place
probably.
Well, there is one Costco that sells diesel, but it isn't the one that I went to today to fill up my truck with gas. So
But so I got wondering. I'm thinking the gas prices are coming down, but diesel's staying up. And if diesel doesn't come down, are the prices in the groceries and all that? They're not going to come down because diesel is
they're
the
going to
main
keep
reason.
going up. For
The
sure.
the
Yeah.
price of diesel is the main reason why our products have gone up in price.
Right.
And there's some other reasons, but if diesel would come down to what that's it. Well, if they get down to where it was before Biden came in, which I believe at that time was $2.79, maybe $2.69 a gallon, everything would come down because I did some investigation and because I was thinking, it's got to be our government's doing something to keep those prices up, or B, it's the gas companies doing something to keep those prices up because diesel is the cheapest fuel to make and it's the most expensive to buy. So why is that? Well, I found out that they don't have enough refineries for diesel to keep up with the demand right now. Post COVID, so many people want to ship stuff, and everything that's being shipped is run by diesel, and they can't keep up with the demand.
Are you telling me that you did some research since
I did some research, brother.
Nice. But Jessica says that it's $3.39 there, and I don't know if she's talking about regular unleaded or diesel. I'm guessing regular unleaded.
That's the thing, that regular gas prices have come down somewhat. They're still not where they need to be, but they have come down.
Well, you got to ask yourself, why are they suddenly coming down? What's going on in 2 weeks from today?
Well, I know why they're coming down. Well,
the
the main reason they're coming down is because we're digging into our reserves, which is stupid. Okay, but hey, whatever. I mean, these guys just don't have a clue. Oh, I was going to say one more thing about the China thing.
The communist Chinese spies
of those people being
giving
arrested.
our
And
intellectual property.
this is the reason right here why my brother and I are firm believers in anywhere but China.
Right.
If you can absolutely buy something that's not in China, do it. I went to Niagara Falls a couple weeks ago. Dulcie and my wife went there. We had a great time. We went to buy some T-shirts. The one we really liked was made in China.
Made in China.
And we looked at it. We liked
Niagara
it.
Falls.
We found it's made in China. We put it back. There was one next to it that we liked, not as good, but we still liked it pretty good. And that was made in India, I think. I'll have to look, but it wasn't China. So we bought that one instead, just because of that reason. Because these guys are stealing our intellectual property, and they're they're becoming a world uh, production. They're taking businesses and jobs away from the U.S. because they're doing it illegally. Okay,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
why me and my brother are firm believers in anywhere but China. Okay, back to the gas. I'm sorry, I go off the rails, but yeah,
Oh, that was perfect. It was great. So
yeah.
yeah.
So you think?
So I think,
I don't know
yeah.
what everybody else thinks, but you at least think it. So there we go.
Somebody gave us an angry face. I don't know who that was.
Yeah,
Oh,
George
George
Thomas
Bennett
is
says,
watching. George Thomas, hey George, if you want to get on here sometime, you let me know. We'll get you on the podcast, and you can yell at me because I know you don't like me when I talk about this stuff. I know you like me, but
so
you don't agree with a lot of stuff. And Jessica Bennett said illegally question mark. Yes, illegally. They're stealing
yes,
intellectual property and making goods
right.
and selling them worldwide. So it is illegal. There
So
is a lot of stuff that they do that is not illegal, but they're still stealing jobs from the United States either
right.
way.
Yeah. And George Bennett says not only is using the reserve stupid, it doesn't make much of a difference. Yeah. So also the other thing is, which is funny about the Democrats using, Biden using the reserves is like when Trump was in office and fuel was down below $2 a gallon, he said that we should be filling up the reserves even more, and the Democrats voted against it. So here we are, gas is like $5 a gallon, and we're spending it like it's candy. And at some point in time, we have to refill the reserves because the reserves are
Yes.
there for us in case there's an emergency. I don't know, like
Usually
Russia or
emergency is
China
war.
decides to attack
It
something that
shouldn't
we are
be
supposed
because
to
the gas
defend
prices are too
against.
high because we have stupid policies. That's what it
Yeah,
should be.
and you want to win the election in the
Yeah.
midterms.
Yeah, and
Other
George
than that,
Thomas says,
I like
"You guys are funny and hope everything is well." Yeah, George, everything is well. And like I said, you want to get on here and argue with us someday? You're more than welcome. We like different points of views. We want to hear
yeah,
everybody's points of view, and
unless you have
all
an
we ask
Android
is
phone,
you be
it won't work.
respectful to us. We'll be respectful to you. You can
Right.
call Donald Trump anything you want to. We won't care. You can call Joe Biden anything you want to. We
Yeah,
don't care. Although I know you like Joe Biden, so you won't do that. But
well, this is why we have a thing called the First Amendment. So you have the right and freedom to say whatever you want. We don't have to agree with you, but you still have the
right,
right to say it. I mean, as long as you're saying that the house isn't going to burn down when I'm in it, then then we'll go along with that. But it's like, this is one of the reasons that Rick and I are doing this because we don't always agree on different things that we talk about in politics, but we
and
have the right and the freedom to say what we believe.
Jessica just said, "Isn't gas a finite resource, though?" Well, it could be if we were allowed to drill. It could be, um, but our current administration is so bent on getting to electric vehicles, electric everything. They're making it hard for the oil companies to do stuff
Right.
because the oil companies. They interviewed one of the oil guys on one of the things the other night, and he's basically saying, even if we can drill in the United States, because Biden is asking us to right now. They think if once the election's over, he's going to go back to his policies of trying to get rid of us to get all electric. So
Yeah.
we don't we why would we?
Yeah.
So there you go.
So
And
there's a
I
couple
guess it just
things.
go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I was gonna say there's a couple things I like to reply to my daughter on a finite resource. It's possible, like Rick said, it is possible it's a finite resource. There's two points and two problems with that. One is when they started making the Alaskan pipeline back in the 70s, they speculated that the fields where they're getting the oil out of would be tapped out by like 1999 or
Yeah, they said it
2000.
was like 15 or 20 years or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
remember
and
that.
they're also saying now that there's more oil in the ground now than they realized there was then, and they've been
Right.
piping gas out of that for years. So that's one thing.
I misread what she said. I thought she said infinite instead of
No,
finite.
no, isn't gas a finite resource? So yeah, so
Yeah,
we don't know if it's a finite resource. There's a lot of people that
yeah.
think it's a
I'm sorry,
fossil
Jeff.
fuel, which a fossil fuel would be basically all the dinosaurs that roamed on planet Earth are degrading and creating the fuel, right? So that's one possibility, right? Here's the other thing. if we want to talk about going to batteries and electric cars, right? You want to talk about a finite resource. There, I saw a scientist on Instagram the other day, so it must be true, right? But he was saying that we don't
Yeah.
have enough resources to build the amount of batteries that we would need to replace all the fossil fuel cars with electric cars. So we don't have it. And he's admitting that we have a finite resource for the ability to uh, build these cars and build the batteries for these cars. So if
Well,
we
I
have a
have.
finite resource, it's definitely one where for sure we know that we have a finite resource. And
Well,
and there may be a finite resource with fuel too. We don't know. So
yes, and we should be looking for alternative energy sources. There's no
yes,
doubt about that, and we should
absolutely.
be
Yeah.
going towards them. We're just not ready to do it yet. And I'm going to tell you, I have two big problems with the
Just
electric
two.
cars and the
That's
finite
it.
resources of making electric cars. And Jeff knows for sure what one of them is. He probably knows what both of them are. First off, you get all this stuff out of the ground, and then when it's done, those batteries don't last forever. And
Oh,
I
we
don't
got
know
a
how
new
long they're going to
watcher. We
last.
got Lori Monarchy is watching.
Lori
Welcome, Lori.
Monarchy, hey, how you doing, Lori? How's your brother Kevin? You know, um, but yeah, so you got it. Once it's done, they don't recycle those. They're going to put them back in the ground, and now they're going to be corrosive. And the second thing is, where do we get that stuff from? Yeah,
Right. Well, we get
China.
it from China. Yeah. Oh,
Exactly.
look,
That's where
you actually
all the
your
battery
text
mines
actually showed
are.
up on our feed. There you go. Just taking a while. So,
What's that?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your text
You
just showed
guys
up on the
suck.
feed.
You
See?
guys suck. Hey, hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, 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 there you
But
go.
nobody else
Yeah.
is up there yet, just mine. So
Well, hopefully it'll come up eventually. So, yeah. I mean,
Dulcie Bennett is
it's
just political propaganda. What is
yeah,
political propaganda? China?
China and batteries made in China and batteries
Oh,
made for electric
don't we
cars
also
and
have enough computer chips for fancy electric cars? And there's the other thing. And then they make those. Well, they're coming around a little bit on those. They're supposedly making new factories in the US to make chips. But we'll see. It hasn't happened yet. They've talked about it, but I don't think it's happened yet. I would
yeah,
like to
so
see that happen because we can't rely on China, obviously.
yeah. Well, what's interesting about this, I do IT support. I support people all over Orange County in California, and I had a customer the other day, and he appeared to know a lot more about the chip. So he makes a product for motorcycles and the helmets and the motorcycles. So they have a little. It's like a. Remember I was telling you about the
Yeah, so you can
helmet
talk to each
microphone
other,
that I
you
got?
can
Yeah,
hear the music or
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
So they have like a 2.0
Talk on your
version of that
phone.
coming out. Yeah. They have a 2.0 version of that coming out. And I asked him how it was doing because he said, yeah, come back in August. Because he gave me one for free. I mean, it's an amazing product. And when I had my motorcycle and I had the helmet, it was awesome. I would call my brother and he would hear me and it would be like very little road noise at all. Um,
Mhm. Oh,
told
yeah,
me,
it was great, you couldn't hear the motorcycle or anything, and, Lori
right.
Christensen is on, Spencer, Lori Christensen
Nice.
Spencer's on.
Well,
Hey, Lori, how's it
yeah.
going? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jeff.
So I was talking to him, and he's waiting to get his version 2 made, and he's got like a little glitch and something because it has like a little pop up antenna, and it wasn't working the way that he had designed it. So he's working with the factory on that. So I asked him, I said, so what's the deal on the chip processing issue in Taiwan? He goes, here's the reality: there is no deal. There's no problem with them making chips. They can make chips all they want, but they're realizing that they can make a lot more money if they think that there's a shortage of them and they can charge more for the same chips. He goes, and this is a guy who's buying chips for his product that he's selling. So I would say that he has a lot of information about it because he said he used to be able to buy like the chips that they put in their micro in their headsets for. I'm just going to make up numbers, so it's not accurate. So don't quote me on this. But he used to be able to buy them for like $2 each or something like that, right? And now the same chip from the same company is now like $5 to $7 each, right? Not because anything changed, but because everyone's talking about there's this worldwide a shipping issue and the product delivery issue. So they realize they can charge more, right? And so
Right.
this is all part of the product that he's saying. So, we're talking about chips. It's like, wait a minute, we don't have a problem with chips. And, yes, there may be some issues in America with chips, but the people that are manufacturing them in Taiwan until China takes them over are manufacturing them fine. They're not having a
Yeah,
problem
the problem is the, supply chain. It's not
Right.
that they can't make them; it's the supply chain. Okay,
Right.
because I remember someone I know was looking for a vehicle to buy a new vehicle, and
Yep.
they end
I have
up
a
buying one, and they said, "Look, okay, but there's some chip that did something that they didn't absolutely need to drive the truck, I
right.
think it was."
Yeah.
And they said, "Come on back, we'll call you and you can come back and you get that chip when we get it." So,
Call you when the part comes in. Yeah, I have a friend of mine bought a new GMC pickup truck, one of the 6,000-pound four-wheel drive diesels, and it's supposed to have adjustable seats on the passenger side, but they didn't have the chips to put them in there. So I forgot, it's like a will call or something. I forgot what it is. There's a terminology that they use. So once they get the part in stock, they'll call him and he can come back in and they'll replace his, wait a minute, what does it say? No, I want to stay on page. I don't know what that is. Oh, cancel. Oh,
don't
right.
know.
So I started a download for a new operating system on my computer. I'm a Mac guy. Anyway, I'll just get back to it. What was I talking about at the end? I got sidetracked.
Chips.
Oh, yeah. So, um, so there's really not an issue with the chips. It's just the idea that they can make more money and they can talk about supply and demand, or uh, the shipping side of it. So
Well, and look at all the things just came up on the screen now, Jeff. Look at that.
So I got interrupted because I had a couple things that popped up on my screen that said, "Are you sure you want to leave StreamYard?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to leave StreamYard." And so, so about 5 minutes before we started, I started downloading the latest operating system for my Mac. It's called Ventura. I'm currently running Monterey. I was downloading Ventura, and apparently it was about to restart my computer to install Ventura.
There you go. Hey, have a nice night,
And
Jeff. We'll talk to you later.
I'm out. No, no real reason. Just my computer restarted. I'm like, mother, what the heck is going on? Yeah. So look, hey, these are awesome. George Thomas, you guys are entertaining. Hope I was. Yeah, this is great. They all came up.
Yeah, now everything's
Um,
up there. That was probably why, because you were doing that to your computer.
maybe. So look, I can show this. Jessica Bennett. Don't we also have enough computer chips for the fancy electric cars?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't know. That's the problem. So yeah,
Yeah. Uncle Jimmy's on now,
yep.
and I can do that too. There you go. Yeah. Hey, that's a new trick we just learned.
Yep. I just hit it.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Uncle Jimmy? What's going on? You guys. Hey, there's
Tim
Tim
Smith.
Smith.
Hey, Bubba. How's it
Yes,
going, man?
welcome. Yes, yeah. I called him Bubba last time. I felt like I got the cold shoulder. I wasn't supposed to do that because you replied with Tim Smith.
Only I can call him Bubba. You can't.
Oh, is that how that works? All right. Well, now that we're clear on that, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I got to say to that, don't you?
What?
Oh my
Don't
gosh,
argue with
yeah.
me or else.
All right, so so we talked about a little bit about chip manufacturing. We talked a little bit about Biden administration. We talked a little bit about the midterm elections, which are coming up in 2 weeks. And so just to throw this out there, I
ahead.
am a conservative. My brother is a liberal, and we both would say vote. Go vote.
Yes.
You have a right and a freedom to vote in this nation. You need to exercise your right to vote. Right?
Jessica Bennett says not the sound effect.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we got the toys. We got to play with them, right? Yeah,
That's
but
right.
yeah. So regardless of where you stand, you have a right and a freedom to vote in this country, and you should be exercising that right and go to vote. Right? One time.
Biden sucks. Tim Smith. Tim Smith says Biden sucks. There's a lot of people that agree with that.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that believe that.
Anyway, so that reminds me of something.
Yeah,
so
what's that?
Georgia changed voting laws, and everybody was screaming, Jim Crow 2020, whatever.
2.0, Jim Crow 2.0.
2.0, yeah, whatever. It was, and I read what the change was. Basically, the biggest change was they're asking for ID when you vote. That's it.
Wow,
that was the biggest
tough question.
I mean, there were some other changes, but that's the one that they really didn't like. Well, here's the facts, and I was just watching this on the news today.
The facts. I love it when my brother gives the facts.
So the up till now, the early voting is up 80% of what it was 4 years ago in the midterms. Okay, so we're comparing midterm to midterm now. 80% it's up from that. The what's the word I want to use? The minority vote
Oh,
is
minority
almost
vote.
double what it was. Okay. So there is no Jim Crow, and I want all you people to just be quiet. Okay.
Right.
Everybody should have an ID to vote. That's all I got to
Yes.
say.
Because there shouldn't be people voting twice or voting for their neighbor or voting
Right.
for their cousin or whatever, or
Whatever
dead
they're
people
doing.
voting or whatever
So
it is,
I'll
so
never
yeah.
forget the first time that happened to me. I don't remember the year. Um, I think it was the first year Barack Obama ran for president, and I showed up to vote, had my ID out. Oh, we don't need that. What do you mean you don't need that? How do you know it's me? We'll check the signature. Okay, whatever. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh my gosh.
So
But
here's another mystery of voting, which I always found amazing, right? So you go to vote, right? So you tell them your address, right? So they look your name up and you have to sign next to your name. And there's a code next to your name. And then they hand you a ticket based on that code, which you go over to the machine to put the ticket in to vote in the machine, right? And they're
right,
saying, well, we don't know how you voted. I'm like, you damn well know how I voted because you have the ticket. So you know what ticket you gave me, you know what I voted for, and you can tell. I can guarantee you they know exactly who voted for what. So
right,
the fact that they're saying this is a secret ballot is like, well, then stop your digitizing of the codes, right?
right.
Just give
Hey,
me a
Carol
slip.
Eaton's on again. Hey, Carol, how's
Barely.
it going? So
I don't. She must be on your side. She must be one of your friends.
yeah, she is.
There you go. Oh, there you go. So yeah. So I mean, I just think that uh, if you're paying attention, you should see that there's somehow, some way they're tracking how you're voting, right? And
Mhm.
Rick said that he didn't have to have an ID. I had the same thing happen to me, and that was probably it might have been during the Biden voting or whatever. And I went to show my ID, and they're the same thing. Well, we don't know that. I'm like, well, how do you know who I am if you don't need it, right? I could
Right.
just
That's
say
exactly what I said.
I just say, well, I'm Jeff Bennett at this address. Like, okay,
Yeah.
next, you
Yeah.
know.
Next. Yeah.
So yeah,
So
I mean,
I
and
was
today,
going to bring this up to us. So yesterday, I was watching CNN and Fox. I was going back and forth. CNN
that's
every hour led with the January 6th uh, investigation. Every hour they led with that. Fox never did anything on January 6th, which I believe, even though I don't think I think
no,
it's
they
stupid.
have
It's
done
still
something on
news.
January 6th.
I'm
You
just
can't
saying
say
yesterday, Jeff. I'm just saying yesterday. Okay.
right, yes.
So
Uh-huh.
yesterday, I watched for like 2.5 hours. Fox didn't do anything on that. Okay. They led every hour with the Republicans are catching up to the Democrats in all these races.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah,
So that if that's a difference. And CNN, when they did do a little bit on the election, but all their election stuff was trying to uplift the Democrats.
right,
Like, oh, this guy's still ahead. They're saying it's close, but it's not really that close, or whatever. Stuff like that. And Fox is the exact opposite. And this is what I'm saying. They slant the news. So who do you trust? Okay, that's my point. Fox is saying all these guys are, and Jeff's going to say it's a red wave, and I think it's going to be too. But they've been doing this for quite a while now.
right. But I mean,
And
uh,
CNN does the exact opposite. So
right,
I don't think either one of them are investigating enough to really know what's going to happen. And if it does happen that it's a red wave, Fox will say, "See, I told you so." But they were
right,
lucky. That's the way I look at it. They didn't investigate their luck.
right. And
Um,
and it was probably about 4 months ago that it was before the Supreme Court decision to
Tim
and
Smith
I hate
says they
I
know
hate
exactly who you vote for.
I hate to say he also said
And
CNN are
CNN are communists. Tim, all I gotta say, if you're not watching them, you're only getting one side of the news. That's all I'm gonna say.
right.
And I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're right. I'm just saying you're only getting one side of the news if you watch it.
You can learn a lot
If you
from
don't
their
watch it,
side.
or if you just watch it.
So, yeah.
Anyways, go
But
ahead, brother. I interrupt you, which I always do.
yeah,
So
I
I
lost my train
apologize
of thought. I have
again.
no idea where I'm going at this point in time. Thanks for interrupting me.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for, brother. To keep you
Jessica
out of
just texted
trouble.
me. She said she had to leave for some reason. I forgot what it is, but yeah. So love you,
Who
sweetie. Hope you
texted
have a
you?
great
Oh,
Jessica, my
Jessica.
dog.
Jessica, have a good night. Love you.
What were you talking about? So
I agree. Tim Smith says, "Oh, about probably watching both CNN and turning it around, watching them both." Um,
so we were talking about 3 or 4 months ago, um, it was on all the news channels that there's gonna be a red wave in the fall, right? And this was before the Supreme Court released their statement about everyone says overturning Roe v. Wade, and that's really not what they did. I mean, the basic
no, they
principle of
did,
what
but it doesn't mean what everybody thinks it means.
no, so what they did was they said that the law went too far, the Supreme Court didn't have the right to decide it, so we're
Right.
gonna kick it back to the states, right? So so they're not saying that you can't have an abortion, they're saying that the state has to make a decision whether or not you have an abortion, and fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, some states are saying, "We don't want any abortions at all," right? But
Yeah.
anyway, so prior to that happening, there was this whole statement. Everyone on both Democrats and Republicans side, CNN and Fox, were saying, "Oh my gosh, there's going to be a red wave. Biden's going to get crushed. He's going to get killed. Blah blah blah." Right? And then when the whole thing came out with the Supreme Court decision, suddenly they're like, "Well, the Democrats are taking over. They're not going to lose any seats." Blah blah blah. And then as it got
Yeah.
started getting closer and closer, they're like, "Well, they may lose a couple seats, but they're still going to maintain power." And then they're like, "Well, maybe the Republicans take over the House, but they're not gonna take over the Senate." And now it's like, yeah, they're probably gonna take over the House and the Senate, and, they're gonna have
No,
I mean,
CNN still has the Senate as a toss-up. I'm just going to tell you that
yeah,
right
but
now. That
yeah,
and
because they think it's
oh,
not gonna happen, but
like
I
is it, and you know what I feel. The polls for the last bunch of years have always leaned Democratic way, and they've always turned
right,
out to be the Republican way. I mean,
right,
the first time Trump won, they said didn't have a chance. The second time he lost, they said he didn't have a chance, that Biden was going to kill
right,
him, and it came right down to 4 states basically, and the votes were close. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, um,
And statistics always says that in the midterm, whoever's in charge takes a shellacking, and so
right,
it's like, so this is why everybody 4 months ago was like, yeah, there's going to be a red wave, right? But then when you start
yeah,
looking at what's going on in our nation, you have the all the laws that aren't being fulfilled. They're defund the police. There's no bail. There's all the transgender stuff that's coming out, and people are just getting fed up with it. That you shouldn't be teaching our elementary school kids about how your two partners in a relationship at home are having sex. And there's graphic
right,
books that showing on it. These parents are taking to these school board meetings and saying, "Look, this is my kid's book. This is what he has, and that he got from your school. Why are you
right,
teaching our kids this stuff?" So
right,
Americans are getting fed up and they're getting pissed, whether they're watching Fox or they're watching CNN. They're starting to see the reality, and also you have like food prices and gas prices are going through the roof. And who do you have to blame for that? You have the Democrats to blame for that because I mean, Joe Biden said when he went into office, "I'm going to eliminate fossil fuel." Like,
yeah, and that's the biggest thing. No matter what anybody says about how it's available, that oils companies can drill, why would they drill? Because he wants to do away with it. He wants to make it tough on
right,
them. He wants to regulate them to death, because he wants electric cars. I was going to
yeah,
ask you a question, Jeff. So neither one of us live in New York anymore. You're California, and I'm a Florida resident. But I do kind of pay attention to to the uh,
New
the New
York
York.
politics.
So I was watching today that so they got Hochul, who took over when Como got kicked out, and kicked out. Oh no, he he quit. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he was
And I
about to
air
go to
quoted
jail.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, anyways, um, and then you got Lee Zeldin, the other guy. He's a
yeah,
Republican, and
yep,
so both of them. So Lee Zeldin has got this thing. They're saying they're claiming he signed a bill onto a bill. He signed onto a bill that restricted the abortion, no women's abortions, including no exceptions for rape and incest or the mother's health.
mhm.
Um, so I looked into that, and what I found was
Was it
that
wrong?
it was a little bit wrong. It was There was no exception for rape, incest, or the woman's health, but there you could get an abortion up to 15 weeks. That's what he
Right.
signed on to. Okay.
Right.
Now, so what they're saying is true, but it's not the whole truth. And that was
Right.
it. So now Hochul on the other side, okay, she's now running ads about she's the one that's going to stop the crime in New York and make it safe. After
Oh
it's the
my gosh.
laws that the Democrats made that are
Yeah.
making New York safe, New York unsafe. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, you can't make this shit up. They'll make commercials and say whatever they want. It doesn't matter, and
Well,
nobody holds them accountable.
so I mean,
You
it goes
know?
back to I can't remember the artist, but anyway, yeah. So basically, they tell the people what they want to hear and do what you want to do. That's
Yeah.
the
Hey, Wayne Thayer's on.
hey,
Hey,
how's it
Wayne,
going,
how's
man?
it going, buddy?
So yeah, so it's just kind of crazy BS. What was our next topic of thought that we were going to be going to? I forgot.
Oh, let's see. We thought we might talk about the Durham report a little bit too, but you
Yeah.
had something about you read in
Oh,
the Post today too.
so
I don't know
so
what
I
that
I,
was.
I took a screenshot of a couple of stories out of the Post. One of them is by a guy named Lee Brown. He says the headline is TV host drown or burn Ukrainian children. It says Russian state controlled broadcaster RT
Hmm.
has been accused of inciting genocide after a star presenter said that Ukrainian kids should be drowned or burned alive. Right. So I
And
was
where
reading it
was
and I'm like,
this?
this is in Russia, right?
Yeah, but
So
where
so
did
then
he post this?
well, that's where I'm getting to. So I was
Okay.
reading it, I'm thinking, well, this is kind of odd. So then, but what I thought was interesting is said his comments seen nearly 3 million times on Twitter by Monday sparked widespread condemnation. Like, wait a minute. So why is he still on Twitter?
Well, he's not Trump. That's why.
Well, yeah, I guess he's not a Republican or he's not a so
Well,
so I guess it's okay to call for the genocide of children, but if you make a wrong comment about a transgender, you don't use their proper pronouns and you should be banned from Twitter. It's like excuse
absolutely.
so
That's
yeah.
the way I see it.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was one of oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, well, all you got to say to that is this.
There you go.
Yeah, it's we live in a weird and wacky world today, and you would think that people would learn. And my brother and I have talked about this one thing that a lot of people seem to not have anymore, and it's a thing called a superpower called
Yeah,
common
common
sense.
sense. There you
So
go.
so
Yeah.
it's apparently the only people that have the common sense are people that are superhuman beings. That they have a superpower of common sense. So
And so that
yeah,
I go back to I'm watching CNN, I'm watching Fox, and they're all over the place with the news. And so I question both of them, and you have to use common sense to figure out what's going on
right,
because they're all going to slant the news in a way they think you want to hear it. When in fact
right.
they're not the way I want to hear it. I just want to hear them read it, and that's it. But
Yeah, I
that's not
just
going
want
to happen. Walter Cronkite is gone, and he will never be back. So that's where
well,
common sense comes
top
in, and this
of
is this is what happened.
mind, right.
What's
So
that? Top of mind? Is
top
that what you say?
front, I think about him all the time. I'm wondering if he's gonna come in the room behind me. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
So this is where
I
me and Jeff were talking the other day, and he got down on me because I was dogging the 2000 Mules movie or whatever documentary,
yeah,
and he asked me if I had done any research on it, and I said, well, I really haven't. I was watching Fox News, and the woman on Fox News said it had been debunked, so I just believed it because in my thinking on that one is that Fox News, if they could have helped prove it, they would have helped prove it. That way, my common sense told me that was the truth. And then
well,
I did look into it and found
busting
out the
out.
reason. Oh, you're breaking up a little, Jeff. What'd you say?
I said your superpower is busting out there for a second, huh?
It
Your
was
common sense
busting out.
superpower. Yeah,
I try to use my common sense as much as possible. Um, I think more people should try it. Don't think it's right just because it's
Right.
what you want to hear, you know, and hold your guy. Look at your guy in the same lens you look at the guy you don't like.
Right.
You still on? Wayne Thayer says, yes, we are.
Yes.
You know what? Mine's frozen on my Facebook, Jeff.
Is it? Mine froze too. That's what I thought was weird. It said reload or whatever.
Mine
Maybe they
said reload
banned.
too, and I actually shut it off and then turned it back on. And let's see if this comes up. Yes, we are. I wonder if we got kicked off.
Maybe we did.
No,
Maybe
it
we're
came
just
up. I don't know what's going on there.
under my Facebook feed. So it says live 50 minutes and whatever. There.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
mine's
so it is
frozen.
live. So I was playing it live. I just restarted Facebook and opened it up again. So it's still
All
playing.
right.
We're still
I tried that, but it didn't work. Let me do it again here. Let's get rid of Facebook. Start over.
technical difficulties. We're having
I don't know
technical difficulties.
what the heck's going on there. Okay, there we are. Let's see if we can find it now. We go over here. Da, 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 da. There it is, and it's still frozen. The clock was ticking that time though, but nothing's moving on my face or your face. They're just frozen. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, everything's
So
moving
let
on mine.
me just shut this and see if that.
You know, it may be your Wi-Fi or your network speed because we're actually streaming live our audio and video right now. So maybe it's using up too much bandwidth to stream it and play it at the same time.
Yeah,
That's-
maybe, but I've never had that problem before.
I didn't
so-
have it last time either, but hey.
Let me
so
let me
far we're
try it
still.
on let me try it on my phone and see if I can get it on my phone.
That's
if
where
it
I
works.
tried it. I
Okay,
could
it's
turn off
spinning.
my Wi-Fi. See if yeah, I only have 2 bars.
Yeah, let me try that.
Now we're not paying attention. We're not looking at the camera, and we're looking at the phones. Yeah,
Yeah.
it says live 51 minutes, and yeah, it says live. It does seem to be going off and on, but I mean, I'm assuming it's live. So people that aren't,
Yeah, there we go. I got the time on there, but we're frozen.
yeah, well,
Okay.
that's because we are pretty much frozen. Maybe we ran out
Yeah.
of time. Who knows?
Well,
It
I think it's getting late. It's getting late anyways, and
yeah.
yeah, I hope we did get to see. I hope everybody did get to see you. You know, and we
Yeah.
did stay on.
Download it again, post it on.
There you go.
So we
Yeah.
want to end our broadcast the way that we always end it by saying thank you to our military personnel for all your hard work and service. Thank you for our law enforcement officers, our firemen and first responders. We greatly appreciate all the efforts and work that you do for us to keep us safe and protect us.
And that
we
goes for
want
both of us.
America, and God bless everybody else. So
Everybody,
all.
God bless everybody. Everybody have a great night.